think about that. Think about that. What we're talking about taxes and how you can use your taxes to put yourself in a better financial position. My taxes. It may not be a dirty word. It may not.
Absolutely not.
Okay, all right. I'm done. I will not say taxes are a dirty word again. I won't.
Okay,
maybe not.
Now I don't have to hear it anymore.
Oh, you're not so funny. I tell you, just not funny. It's survival mode. What you doing? Welcome to another edition of Survival Mode. What you doing? Hi, I'm your host, Bert Robinson.
I'm Kevin Beers.
And today is a fantastic day. We are going to be talking about the 5-letter word. That's right, that everyone loves. Taxes. You love taxes, Kevin?
Hey, it's my favorite thing on earth.
You sleep well at night, don't you? Because you lie a lot. I tell you, no, don't even go there. Oh, my goodness. We have a special guest for you today. Patricia Winfield out of Petersburg. She is a tax preparer. She is going to help us understand how our money works through taxes. Okay. Patricia, thank you so much for coming.
I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to share. This is great that you guys are doing this. I love it.
So, Kevin, I want you to start off. You had a wonderful question.
Okay. Well, first off, Patricia, tell us a little bit about your background. What actually got you started in taxes?
Oh, well, I actually got started because I got audited. And that was just the worst thing. And not only did I get audited once, but I got audited twice, 2 years back to back. And the experience was horrible. So I said, you know what? Nobody else needs to go through this and not have the knowledge. So I began to study and began to do taxes. And it's been 20 some years. And I'm excited because this is what I love, helping people. And the tax part is just gravy.
Oh, it's just gravy. It's just gravy. Wait a minute. Let's rewind here. You mean to tell me that you were audited twice? And
yes.
And it was that stressful, all the things that are going on, and you said, no. I'll never get audited again. It is time for me to learn what's going on here. Okay. And you turned that into an opportunity. Now,
most definitely.
You see, now that's thinking. That, go from adversity, and you're 20 years in the business. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
Where's your office?
My office is located in Petersburg. It's at 849 South Sycamore Street, Suite E. In fact, last year we moved into a new building. We actually have been in every suite in the little corp of 849. I call the offices at 849, and I've been in Suite C, D, and now I'm in E. I say I'm moving on up. I used to be in the basement.
There you go. Congratulations.
Well, I would add that is Petersburg, Virginia. What areas do you cover, or do all your clients come into your office, or do you?
We do a little bit of both. We do remote, whether it's Zoom, whether clients fax documents to me. Some visit and want to see my face. Some just talk to me over the telephone. I just don't service clients in Virginia, Georgia, any of the 50 states. Let me just say that. If you're in another state, that does not stop you from being my client.
Oh, okay. All right. I like that. So, you're nationwide. Oh, there you go, girl.
Nationwide.
So I wanted to add or ask, when you were audited, did you do your taxes yourself at that point? Or did you have somebody else do it and you got audited?
I actually probably was going to H&R Block during that time. And so it wasn't necessarily, they wanted me to prove dependence. And there were little rules that you have to listen to and understand that the law said that I could take care of claim a child, or I couldn't, depending on a lot of different laws. And so one auditor said, she could have not done anything, left that alone, but she chose to investigate and remove a child. So I was not happy.
Wait a minute. How do you remove a child? Seriously? How do you remove?
The tax laws.
So the tax laws can say, I've got 5 kids, but really, because of taxes, you can only have 4.
Well, not it is not as simple as that.
I know it's not, but that's how it sounds.
That's how it felt. It literally did feel like they were just like making the rules up as we went. But what I come to understand is the IRS are just people. So they have a guideline just like you and I to do a job. They get a job description. And so if you don't like the words that one say, hang up and call back and get another one because their interpretation might be a little bit different than the one you got before. And then always pray.
You know what? That's excellent. That's excellent advice. So you know what? I don't like you. Hang up, call back. You're going to get somebody else. There you go. All right, let's be serious now. Let's be serious. Why, Patricia, is it important for someone to get instruction on their taxes?
Well, first of all, if you're not paying enough taxes, then there's a couple things that's not going to help you. You're not preparing for your retirement. You're looking at trying to buy a home and all of those things. And believe it or not, your tax return is an important part of making a purchase. So if your taxes are not prepared correctly, it can stop you right in your tracks from buying a car, buying a house, any of those things that are important. So if they're not done correctly, you may not get to live in the big, pretty house that you decided you want to live in.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, I experienced that. It kind of a long story, but the tax returns become very important.
I know they do, in purchasing a house because they want to see. Well, we want to see your taxes. We want to see your all your W-2s so they can match everything. Mm-hmm. They want to see your pay stubs for 3 months, and that's just with buying a house.
Right. Well, I was just refinancing.
Oh, you were just refinancing?
Yeah, refinancing, and same thing. I needed 2 or 3 years of tax returns and the W-2s and the pay stubs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I'd like to ask you a question because there are a lot of people that go online, okay? And I did it a couple of years, and I said, oh, I don't want to do that anymore, okay? And what do you think about that? I mean, doing it online, they charge you $14 to do it online and things of that. Give me your advice. I'm coming to you. Your advice about doing that.
Well, my thing is you get what you pay for.
Ooh, you went there, didn't you?
I did. That's with anything in life, and taxes are no different. So when it comes to those online tax prep, they ask a series of questions, and you're guessing that you have the right answer based on what you're reading and your understanding of the question. And just like any other question, somebody could mean one thing. It could be tomato or tomato. And next thing you know, you got $1,000, $2,000, $10,000 refund, but you should be actually owing 10.
Oh, wait a minute. That tomato and that tomato don't equal? Oh, no. So you know what? Patricia, I'm calling you. Just to make sure. Okay, I won't let that happen again. So that's crazy. So basically, a lot of this is interpretation.
Absolutely interpretation of the tax law.
Okay.
So it's not just interpretation of you or what you think, but it's a tax law and making sure you have a clear understanding.
Okay. What can we do as individuals to get ourselves prepared for coming to you? What can we do? Because I've heard some stories that people have boxes of receipts and things of that nature. They have bags. They have plastic bags, and they're coming in. Here you go. Handle it.
Yes, all of the above is true. Actually, the best thing to do is I do tell people the first year you may come with bags. You may actually come with a bag and a box, but by the time you come the next year, I will have trained you well enough to make sure that you put things in order. So that way, when I'm getting ready to do your taxes, you're not going to get a big tax bill from me as well as a tax bill from the IRS.
Wait a minute. You talk about training. What do I need training in taxes? Why do I need to have training? Tell me, please.
You need to be trained on documentation.
You mean documentation cuts out all conversation?
All conversation.
Oh, so I don't get audited.
So you don't get audited. And if you do get audited, you have the documentation that you can provide them, and it's a clean, because guess what? We are all subject to an audit. But at the same time, if we have our documentation in order, it'll go smooth. When they sit there in front of you and you're like, okay, this is this and this, and we're done.
So you take basically, Patricia, you're taking the stress out of taxes.
That's the plan. That's the purpose. The reason that you go to a professional, the reason you go to the doctor, the reason you go to someone you consider an expert in that particular area is because they know it and you want to trust them and you want to rely on them. And that's exactly how I want my clients to feel when they walk into my office, that if I'm not stressing, then you don't stress. If I start stressing, then we both got a big problem.
Okay. So is there anybody that you recommend that they just do the taxes themselves? Like if it's like a 1040 EZ or...
Well, since the new tax reform, we no longer have the 1040 EZ.
Oh, I didn't know that.
But so there's only one 1040. But at the same time, I do recommend when my clients come in with young children, that they teenagers, that they actually will make sure that they can just go to one of those free sites, because it's very simple to fill out their return. The biggest thing I have is when parents tell their children or children file their own taxes, they forget to check the box that I can be claimed as a dependent on someone else's return.
Oh, okay. All right. So what you're doing is you get the parent and you start educating the children about how to do things, as they get older.
Most definitely. And if I'm doing the parent and the child, and say the parent's trying to decide on whether or not they're going to claim the child because they did work and they want to make sure, I actually will do both returns myself. I'll do the child first, and then I'll even let them have the privacy of being in my office alone. This is their business, and let them see what their numbers look like on their parents' taxes and without being on their parents. And then I bring the parents in and I have a conversation on how that's going to impact their return one way or the other.
Wait a minute. Let's go back a second. You said it's their business.
That's exactly right. They worked and they want to understand how their money works. And so I want to have a conversation with the child so they can understand how their money work and how the taxes. And sometimes I get these young folks with attitudes, they think that this is my money. And I'll have to give them a little thing like, is groceries in the refrigerator? Is the roof over your head? Those kind of conversations. So I'm still a mom.
Okay. See, I was about to say now, but that's. Okay, Mom, because I remember those conversations with my mother. Young man, there's a roof over your head. Listen, I pay the mortgage up into here. It's like, okay, no problem. But that's wonderful that you work with both the children and the parents, and you give that child, who's not really a child, but we're going to call him a child right now, but you give them the sense that this is my business, this is my money. I'm going to try to make the best decision that I can. That's what they need to see, that they can make some decisions.
Most definitely, because the biggest thing, especially when you're in college, they have a lot of friends that's telling them what they've done. They're telling them about how they filed their taxes and how much money they got and all this stuff. And so now their heads are swelled up because they believe that they can file their own taxes and all of these things, but they're not understanding the impact of them filing their own taxes without checking that box that I can be claimed as dependent on my parents' return. And because they can't get the tax credit for the education until they're over the age of 25, they can't get the refundable part. And so they think, I'm going to get this money back, but it's not so. And so I just like to, share that they can't get any earned income credit. They may hit the guidelines, but they're not old enough. So all of those things are so important for them to understand when they're filing their taxes.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I remember I bought my first house when I was 22, and it was a duplex. So I was filing a Schedule E with the depreciation, or just all kinds of numbers going on, and everybody was recommending I not see a professional because they cost so much, and just the nightmare. I mean, I believe I did file them correctly and had the right numbers and all that. I mean, what I did was I took the depreciation for the next 15 years based on the schedule I had, and I just figured out the whole 15 years once I had the formula figured out, and just kept it moving from one year to the next. So I always had the right numbers in front of me, because refiguring is a lot of work. And I honestly, I got a lot of bad advice when it came to doing taxes way back in those days, because I actually do my own taxes right now, mostly because there's not a lot of I don't actually meet the
guidelines,
the deductions anymore.
Okay.
For itemizing, I'm that close on paying out my house off at this point that the interest doesn't really add up to much of anything. And it just, for me, it makes sense. Plus, I got a friend who's a CPA that watches over my shoulder anyway. So
there you go.
I guess I am getting help. Anyway.
Thank you. I was about to go there.
I'm just getting it for free.
You see. All right. Now, when should someone come to you, Patricia? When in the year should they come to you? Because most people get their W-2s in January. Okay, and they're hoping, all right, let me get my refund and refund. When should they come to you?
Well, they need to first make sure that they have all their documentation, because just because you've gotten one, and if you had some investments or some dividends, some of those things do not hit until after January 31st. And so they don't have to mail them until that time. So if you wait, as soon as you get your first W-2 and file, you may have some income, and the IRS will write you a letter that said, oh, you did not claim this information on your tax return. And then you've got to get your taxes amended. And if you're going to a preparer, then you're going to pay again. So you want to wait at least until, I would say, the 1st of February, unless you absolutely know you don't have anything else. But really, if you don't have anything, is your taxes is just one W-2, that's what those online programs are made for. They're made for the people who don't have a lot of stuff to go and it's simple. They upload your W-2 on the platform, and you fill in your birth information and demographics, and that's it.
Now, let's go a little bit deeper now with somebody that has a lot of things, on there. Let's say they're in their between 25 and older. They've got more things on there. It can get arduous at times, okay? And, they may be leasing, they may be doing some different things. They may have some stocks, because nowadays the kids are doing a lot of things with, stocks and everything. What should those people do that are into the stocks and doing all that? Because they got some people are doing pretty well, but some people are losing. What kind of advice would you give to them?
So here's the first thing about stocks. Stocks don't matter until you sell them. You can buy up and down until you actually take them out. Then you get a 1099 B for your stock for selling it. But you must know your basis if they don't include it. So here, if you don't understand what the basis is, that's the beginning. That's what you purchased it for. And if you don't understand that, then you're going to be up a creek without a paddle when it comes to tax time, because you're going to put something wrong on your tax return, and the capital gains that you may end up incurring because of that, a lack of knowledge, lack of understanding, may cost you.
Oh, you just hurt some feelings out there, Patricia. You just hurt somebody. Okay, I love that. I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. Okay, now let's go to another topic with taxes. What about if someone is forgiven on a credit card.
Mm.
Wait a minute. Did I start something here?
Here's the first thing I always tell clients. If you know you're in a place where you're asking for them to give you a settlement, ask them, are they going to give you a 1099-C? Because that becomes income. Say you have $5,000 in credit card debt that you absolutely cannot pay. And you call them and say, can you settle with me? And they say, okay, we'll settle for $2,500. You pay the $2,500. Well, the other $2,500, they're just not going to write off. They're going to send you a 1099-C, and the IRS says this is income for you. So now you have to claim that $2,500 on your tax return as other income.
I don't have the cash. I never had the cash.
Unfortunately, it is what it is.
Right, because a lot. Well, actually, that brings up a good question. How does bankruptcy affect taxes?
Well, it all depends on which bankruptcy you're in. So if you're in a 13, of course, you know that that's paying your debt back. It's not going to matter. So all you get to do is claim the legal fees on part of that. Depending on if you have some investments, you can do that. But that's on the Schedule A. And they keep changing the itemized deduction because you may have enough to claim it, but you may not have enough of everything else. I know that sounds a little crazy, but the itemized deduction has gone up significantly over the last 2 years. And a lot of people are no longer able to itemize because they don't have enough deductions. Guess what? If you're a married couple and it's $24,000, it's going to be extremely unlikely for some folks to come up with that between their mortgage and the taxes they're paying in and things of that nature. The biggest thing that you get, a lot of high end six figures, maybe they're doing a lot of contributions, then those are the things that can help you go over. But otherwise, you're going to take the standard deduction. Okay.
Well, my original question on the bankruptcy. So I believe it's chapter 11, where it's the where you're not paying back all the debt. Is that chapter 11?
That's 7.
Chapter 7,
That's 7.
Where you're not paying the debt back.
Right.
Now they have to cancel that is a cancellation of all debt.
Okay.
Now, of course, the possibility that a debtor could say, well, I want them to claim this because they have to eat all of that.
Right.
And you could get a 1099-C.
Okay.
For that. You can get a 1099-C out of that. Most times they don't. Look, big corporations understand bad debt, and they have a line item for bad debt.
Oh, okay. Okay.
There is a line item on their tax return.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, and I asked that because of the we in financial services, we actually, there's times where we send somebody to get their like they got a lot of credit card debt, whatever, and we send them to an organization that works with them. But that's where the not tax forgiveness, but the debt forgiveness comes in.
Right.
And that's where the taxes get hit on the taxes.
Right.
And I don't necessarily, there are some people who really need that service. And then there's other people who
They need to have discipline.
Well, yeah, it's like they want to go to that service because I just don't want to have to pay that debt back. But then they get hit on the tax side, because first of all, if they came to us, we can at least counsel them through that and help them. I usually, let's do everything we can not to go that route if we can avoid it. There's times where, of course, they actually need that service, and we work with our clients that way. And I will say, Patricia was on our radio show a couple weeks ago, and we talked about small business, and I learned so much from her. I got quite the education, which actually tonight I'm getting the education again.
It's fascinating. It's fascinating, and like we said when we started, we want to help people understand about how money works. And if we help you understand how money works, we're going to bring the people on that, there's a lot of stuff that we don't know. Okay. But we're going to bring the person on that knows what they're doing. They've been in the business for years and they can help you. And Patricia, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. I'm gonna tell everybody a secret. When I heard Patricia on our show, I said, okay, because somebody screwed up with my taxes.
Oh, okay.
They screwed up with my taxes. I was mad. So I said, okay, I called Patricia. And Patricia, can you take care of this for me? Like that. Okay, like that. And it was wonderful because she asked me everything that I need. Here, I need this, I need this, I need this. I sent it. She took care of everything. And the reason that I'm saying this is because we're human. We make mistakes. And we deal with people that make mistakes.
Right. And I want to throw this in too. Okay, this is my secret.
Oh, you got a secret. Okay, this is going to be good.
Before I got into financial services, I got laid off from my job. And then there were back tax issues, things like that. So because while I was laid off, I went through the debt forgiveness on the credit card. I got hit big time on taxes. Didn't have the money to pay the taxes. So I kind of well, I'll file the extension. Things will get better. Things didn't get better. End up not filing. So anyway, I created a big tax issue for myself. And then when I went through the refinancing, they're like, we need tax returns. I'm like, I don't got tax returns. What do I do? So I went to a tax preparer, accounting firm. And what I tell people all the time is that it's scary. Just do it anyway. Because once you go in, they were so nice and just walked me through the process, educated me on what I needed to know. And just, I went in there, my hands were sweating and they just put me at ease. Like, yeah, it is bad, but hey, let us help you through it.
And that's why, and Patricia in our area, that's why, when I know her from a friend of mine. Okay. And that's why I wanted her on. I thought it was really important to get her on so she can talk to everybody. People, I suggest if you don't have if you have issues, or even if you don't have issues, give her a call. She is so good at what she does. I really enjoy the fact that, she's going to tell you like it is.
What?
Okay, and I know that's something for, it's okay, it's all right. You Patricia, you know what I'm talking about, right?
I do. And that's one of the things I love the most about my clients is I let them know it may be hard the first year, especially if you've had come in with problems, that I have the conversation of how you got here, and then this is how we're going to get out of this situation so that you won't have it to occur year after year. Now, of course, if you're a hard head and you decide that you want to do whatever you want to do,
Kevin,
then we're going to have another conversation. Because you're going to come back and you're going to say, help me. And that's what happens a lot of times is I get clients who did not do what they were supposed to do. And we've got years. I've got someone right now that have not done their taxes, I want to say since 2013.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so here we go. You're not going to get a refund. First of all, if they do a refund, they're only going to go back 3 years. But if you owe, you're going to go back all the way through, and they're going to be penalty and interest. And so we got to talk about that. We got to talk about whether or not do we want to try and do a offer in compromise? What kind of things can we do to get this debt? Because guess what? You can't put tax debt in a bankruptcy. It doesn't. You can pay it in a 13 and pay it back, but not in a 7 and it goes away. That doesn't exist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I will say that, I didn't have a major issue with back taxes, but it did have to be dealt with. And when I talk to my clients, a lot of times they come in, looking at we're always looking at the income side. You're looking at the tax side, but they come in and they're nervous about whatever they've done. Like, I always tell them, like in your case, you were audited twice. You can't do anything wrong financially that I didn't do myself, with the exception of declaring bankruptcy, and that's not necessarily wrong. It's just I've done it all. So you can't tell me anything that's going to surprise me. And it doesn't matter how bad it is. My job is to help you get through that. Just same as your job, helping people get through those tax issues. And I find you really easy to talk to. So I would hope all your clients find you the same way, and it's just easier.
It is. Yeah. You know what? There's a question that just popped in my head about someone hoping to get a big tax return. Now, why? Okay, all right, Patricia, you're sitting up here laughing at me. Why are you laughing? Why are you laughing?
Well, I get a lot of clients who want a tax refund, and that's not the way I'm going to lead them. I'm going to let you know
there you go.
That if you decide that you want a tax refund, let me tell you what you did. You've allowed the IRS to keep your money interest-free all year long. And the goal for taxes is to take care of the infrastructure. So we do need to pay taxes because that does take care of something, but you don't want a refund. You want to break even, if at all, unless you're going to get a whole bunch of credits.
Say that again.
But there are things that can help you even get part of those credits throughout the year if you talk to a tax professional in advance so you can kind of plan. And in a place where we had a pandemic, people need their monies now.
And that's why I brought it up, because I know how passionate you are with that, and she's like, no, you don't want the refund. You need to restructure. You need to call your human resources department and say, this is what I need you to do right now. Am I right?
That is correct. If you are getting a big refund, look, guys, I understand that most of you got to think about, will this money help me at the end of the year? Or will it help me throughout the year? And knowing your financial situation is critical. So now some people, if you take that money and you do some investment at the end of the year so that you can plan for your futures. I have clients who say, well, that's my vacation money. So if there's a good plan and a rational reason, maybe I will agree with you, but we're going to have to talk that thing through.
Okay, Mom. Seriously? Okay, I want to go on a vacation.
Well, why not break even on the taxes, but during the year, put that money into something that gains some interest?
Exactly. There you go.
Most definitely. Here we go. That's
financial services. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do. And think about that. What we're talking about taxes and how you can use your taxes to put yourself in a better financial position. Mm-hmm. My taxes. It may not be a dirty word. It may not.
Absolutely not.
Okay, all right. I'm done. I will not say taxes are a dirty word again. I won't. Okay, maybe not.
Now I don't have to hear it anymore.
Oh, you're not so funny. I tell you, just not funny. Well, let's see. The last thing I'm going to ask you is, what are your future goals for taxes, for helping people?
Oh, well, here this year alone, I am excited that we're going to offer 2 tax classes and a business class. I did one in January to kick off the year. Let me tell you, I gave the class away. I let folks know you'll never get it again because it was $59. 3 weeks, 27 hours.
Wow.
Of strenuous information. We did from beginners to advanced tax returns. Those people can go out and open a tax business. I'm there to help them, but I only charged them $59. And I said, okay, guys, you got it. This was the introductory offer. The next one is coming up in May. We're still working some kinks out, but I'm excited. It's going to be a 6 weeks course, 3 days. And I may do 2, one during the day and one in the evening, but the IRS just threw something in my game plan. What did they do? They ended taxing. They extended it to May 17th.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a big wrench. That's a big wrench in there. That's a big wrench.
That was a wrench that they just threw in there. And that's like, now I got to rethink that. I'm glad I didn't print up a whole lot of material, but at the same time, I'm excited because that's what I want to do. I want to teach people, not just so you can do your own taxes, just so you can plan and make sure you're in a better place financially, excuse me.
Okay, you know what?
I did a little math here. You only charge $2 an hour plus tax.
Seriously? You went there. Wow. Wow. That was good. That was good. You know what? We're going to have you back on the show again, okay? Because I want to learn more about that program, you know? And you know what? Me being in financial services, I might take the course myself.
All right now.
I might take the, you know what? It's not a might. I'm going to take the course myself.
I was thinking the exact same thing.
See, you know, because this, when we deal with financial services, that is another addition to help, you know, those people, you know, with financial service and talk about the taxes at the same time. We will be talking about that. Okay. And we're going to let everybody know. Patricia Winfield, tell everybody once again, where are you? You're in where? You tell us.
I am located at 849 South Sycamore Street, Suite E in Petersburg, Virginia. And you can reach us at 804-722-0963 or on the website at taxandthings.net. I'm also on Facebook as Tax and Things Financial Services and on Instagram as Tax and Things.
Ooh.
And she's national, so distance is not an issue.
Distance is not an issue. Love it. Love it.
Distance is not an issue.
You know, it's wonderful. You know, it's great. Thank you ever so much for coming on. And I'm dead serious. I want you to come back and do more talking about the situation, you know, what you're doing, because we need to help people out there. We need to continue to do that. And that's, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Kevin, what are we going to do next week?
Before we go, I got one more thing I think
sure.
that your listeners would really love to know about.
Oh.
Their stimulus money.
Oh, yes.
Oh, you know what? We forgot about the stimulus money. Oh.
Yes.
Talk to us about that stimulus money.
Those people who did not get that $1,200 and the $600, in order to receive it, it's going to be, you have to file a tax return for 2020. Now, the question is that money taxable? No. But listen, if you owe, they're going to deduct the amount you owe from the stimulus that you did not get.
Okay. Okay. I can deal with that.
But some folks who are looking for, they're a little upset because they, you know, not everybody had to pay that money back. It's not, they feel like they're paying it back when they do that, but you're not. You just don't have to come out of your pocket with any money.
You know
it'll
what?
be paid for. As long as you don't owe $1,800.
You know what? As long as you don't owe $1,800. You know what? We absolutely, we dropped the ball on that one. We did. Patricia, thank you for backing us up. We really appreciate that.
Well, that's what I'm here for.
There you go. Love it. Okay. Kevin, the next show is going to be on real estate.
Yes, real estate.
It's going to be on real estate.
And we will have a guest on that show too.
Yeah. Oh, yes. We're going to have a special guest on that show. Okay. Looking forward to it. Once again, Patricia, thank you ever so much. Looking forward to taking your class and having some fun. Once again, everybody, thank you for coming out and listening to us. Please subscribe to us. And if you'd like to know more information about what we're doing, you can email us at survivalmodewd@gmail.com. That's going to about wrap it up for another edition of Survival Mode. What you doing? I'm Bert Robinson.
I'm Kevin Beers.
And we'll have more for you next week on Survival Mode. What you doing? It's Survival Mode. What you doing?